Hey guys, it's Ping with Vital MX here at Fox Raceway today, and a really cool project. You may recognize the guy standing next to me. This is John Vagley from Mullet Moto Racing, and he has a sickness, and it's Hondas, old Hondas. He built a David Bailey CR500 replica for us, or not for us, but he allowed us to try it. And this is his 1997 CR144 Steve Lamson replica, which for me is bringing back a ton of memories because I was racing the 125 class at this time, and I remember this bike right here, or what looked just like it, going really fast past me those years a lot of times. So I'm having all kinds of Vietnam flashbacks. Thank you for letting us try this thing.
Yeah, dude, it's fun.
So tell us a quick story about this thing. Where'd you pick it up? How much? And how much time and effort went into making it look like this?
So the one thing I'll say is that 90s stuff is way easier than 80s stuff. The parts availability is better. Aftermarket plastics are available. There's a lot less work. And the thing that's cool about them is when you're all done, the performance is better, right? I mean, I love 80s stuff, but I mean, naturally, as the technology improves, so did the performance. And so it's a lot easier to make a fun, easy, fun to ride bike. And so anyways, I have a couple 250s. I have an aluminum one and a steel frame 96, and I love the Steely. So I've been kind of in the market, or had been in the market, for a steel 125 because I have an 05 125. And I picked this one up, the old Craigslist thing, 900 bucks, I think. And
was it kind of a mess?
It wasn't horrible, actually. Okay. Like the side covers and shrouds are what came on the bike. They're OEM.
Okay.
And so it wasn't super roached. I didn't have to like redo the swing arm or anything like I do on a lot of them.
Okay.
And then we just kind of did the standard mullet deal. Framed it. I sent the engine to Tom Morgan, and obviously, when you read reviews about 125s, everybody wants to know about the motor. So the motor's got a balanced crank. It's a 144 running on race gas. I did rem finishing on the transmission, so it shifts really nice. It's got a Hinson basket in it, kind of like all the normal guy additions. And then I got on a waiting list for the Pro Circuit pipe, and it took like 8 months to get it, but I got the works pipe, and which, I mean, looks bitchin'.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that's cool about this is I just stuck with the stock suspension, so I didn't have to spend a bunch of money doing conversions and finding usable forks on eBay and all that stuff. So it's just stock KYB front and rear. I sent it to Enzo, and they did their thing to it with the sub tanks and everything. I just sort of try to piece these things together and make a good looking, reliable bike that, reasonable upgrades, right, without spending $20,000 on a 125.
Well, and you'd asked me, how does this engine compare to a factory bike of that day? Because this is kind of, you kind of limited out at what you could do in terms of building this thing. I mean, I guess you could track down an ignition maybe and have somebody throw a different map in it, or a different ignition setup in there. But here's my impression getting on this thing. One, I always like the feel of these 90s bikes. They're a little smaller. The modern bikes are more flat, a little bit stretched out. You just feel like this is a more compact rider compartment and a little bit more of this pocket where you feel like you're down into a little cockpit instead of just sitting up on a 2x4. I like that. As a shorter guy, man, I feel just really at home on these things. The engine, and this is kind of what I told you, John, the difference between like a good, whether you go to Pro Circuit or Tom Morgan or whoever, what they can build you in terms of a customer spec versus a race bike, that difference is this has a really strong horsepower number, middle to top somewhere right in there, right? And if you're looking at the dyno chart, right, where it starts to peak, that's probably a good number. A race bike will fill in any holes that might have on the front side, and it'll just carry way further, where these will drop off with a stock ignition. So it's like, I guess it would be comparing it like a 4-stroke. You have power in a broader range or a broader area, where if this, or any built bike, if you get into some deep stuff, it's more likely to drop off, or those will keep pulling. Or if you need to just leave it, if you're coming into a turn and it's not quite enough distance to shift again, you can just leave it and it'll keep pulling a little bit, where this, these with the stock ignition will just flatten out. Having said that, this thing rips, and you'll see it in the video. The thing moves, and it sounds nasty. I had multiple people stop me and go, "Oh man, that thing sounds so good." The motor is a lot of fun. The 144, I don't ride a lot of these big bores that I like because they usually drop off so hard up top. So whatever Tom did on this thing, man, pat on the back, because it is a nice broad power. Because of the extra cc's, it picks up good out of turns, makes a really good pull through the top and mid, or mid and top, and then like it doesn't completely sign off. It doesn't pull, like continue to go out as far as it would with a works ignition, but you know, that just is what it is. But all in all, really, really fun. I had a blast riding this thing. The suspension was a little quick moving. We just slowed down the rebound a couple clicks and I got really comfortable and was having a ball. Brakes are good. To your point, 90s stuff, the brakes, that stuff was working.
Starts to work, yeah.
It starts to work really well. So, I mean, I didn't feel like, you know, this was an old bike. I was just out there riding and having a blast on a 125. What's your favorite part? I mean, I think for me as a 90s guy, like I just see this graphic and it takes me back to that 97 year and you know, all the stuff that was going on.
Yeah, so for me, like, I mean, these things, they spend more time getting stared at than they do getting ridden, you know? The colors of these era CRs, like as it starts to get dark, like the bike just starts to like glow, like the colors just pop. Yeah. And the other thing that's bitching about this thing is when I got it, it had a spark arrestor silencer, but he also had a shorty, which is what's on the bike. And these 90s shorties are like that long and they're about that big around,
yeah.
Right? And so I think that kind of contributes, like punching a 144 through that little tiny silencer, and I mean, it just barks, dude. Yeah. The sound is awesome.
You mentioned you did a bunch of work to the gears. The thing shifts like butter, runs super clean. We talked about the jetting. You could maybe go a little leaner if you wanted, but I mean, the thing didn't fart, hiccup on me, gurgle, nothing all day. So that's a win right there if you're riding 125.
Yeah, dude, to not have it blow up at the end of the day, I'm stoked.
We had an absolute ball. I hope you guys enjoyed just seeing this thing going around. If you're, I don't know, 35 and older, maybe 40 and older, this is probably ringing some bells for you, and I hope you got a kick out of it. John, thanks so much, man.
Yeah,
I always love riding your stuff because I know it's going to be good.
Appreciate that.
And didn't disappoint. So hope you guys enjoyed it. See you on the next build.